Simple, inexpensive, common sense energy management is available to every property. But sometimes, as practical and as simple as it might be, the answers are not as obvious and even often overlooked. VTech offers solutions for energy management and more. And I'm here with Bryce Bowman, National Account Manager for Hospitality Distribution at VTech, and you're going to hear it straight from the source. Welcome, Bryce.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
All right, so let's just jump in right here. Energy costs are a major concern for hotel operators right now. What is one simple energy management step that many properties may be overlooking?
Well, the number one thing is very common sense in that we allow hotels to not overheat or overcool when the guest is out. And that's achieved through the occupancy detection feature, very easy to program on our thermostats. So it's so simple that you can program it, no activity in the room for 20 minutes, default to what you feel is the most common sense temperature. They come back, it kicks back on again, good to go. Because we've all seen it, we've probably all done it, where you say, okay, I'm leaving the room, I want it cool when I get back. I turn it down to 62, I leave for 8 hours. Well, who pays that bill? Who pays for the wear and tear on the equipment? And again, it's just a very common sense, don't overheat or overcool approach.
That's great. And P.S., by the way, I am actually one of those people. So I like it nice and cold in the room. Okay, so some hotels assume that energy management requires a large investment or a complex system. So how can properties approach energy savings in a simple, common sense way?
Well, we do keep things simple in that these thermostats are not sitting on your Wi-Fi network. They don't report back to a central location. They're room by room. Now, that being said, programming doesn't happen through a network. You have an app that you can say, okay, this is my minimum temperature, my maximum temperature, heat pump, conventional, no activity for 20 minutes, default. You save that in a template, plug into a port in the bottom of it, hit go. It's programmed, just that simple. So it's room by room. Each one is programmed within seconds without, instead of minutes. And really, we're keeping an eye out for people that this might be their first thermostat on the wall. Instead of having the guest walk up to the PTech, open the hatch, change the temperature, if you've got that thermostat on the wall, it's also got the infrared sensor on that is seeing, is there emotion, is there activity in the room, and adjusting the temperature accordingly. So a lot of what we're after is the people that are getting their first thermostat in this world, and it's pretty cost justified. That people have been, holding off on it. But with occupancy detection, it really makes sense in terms of wear and tear on your equipment and your heating bill. Now, gotta interject one thing, because there's probably a lot of people now running, well, if it's motion detection, what happens at night? And with years ago, the first people that started having occupancy detecting thermostats with that technology, somebody who's, a very still sleeper or doesn't have much of a heat signature, which could be a deeper problem, the thermostat would just kick the PTech off in the middle of the night and they'd wake up and be hot, and then, somebody's calling the front desk upset. Ours have a programmable mode where you can say, okay, from 10 o'clock at night till 8 in the morning, nothing but manual changes to the thermostat. So it stays exactly where the guest set it during those hours, which presumably they're going to be there, not turning it down to 62 and leaving for 8 hours. So, that night mode answers a lot of initial questions that we get with these thermostats.
Okay, great. And I was going to touch upon that actually a little bit, because thermostat control is such a practical area for hotels to reduce unnecessary energy usage. But many thermostats offer energy saving settings, and guests can sometimes find ways to override them online. How does VTech help address that issue?
Getting into this, we did not expect it to be as big an issue as it turned out to be. And thankfully, this is a lesson that we didn't have to learn the hard way. So here's the thing. You can have all the energy controls in the world on your thermostats, but if a guest can get in there and override them, they're completely meaningless. And that happens all the time because of YouTube.
Yes.
People go on YouTube and enter their current thermostat model number and go hotel thermostat hack, and it'll show you the key sequences to turn off all the energy controls on it.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time. At first, hotels were like, well, my current thermostats aren't that old, and they keep losing programming. And as we got deeper into it, we realized they're not losing their programming. People are undoing the programming, and it's disturbingly simple. What we've done to counter that is ours are pin protected. When you set them up, the chief engineer or the owner or whoever is maintaining the fleet of thermostats sets that pin number, and they're the only ones that can make macro changes to the minimums, the maximums, the timeout. They have that control. So
very smart. Yes. Tactful.
Yeah, and guests turn off that feature all the time, but they don't say, hey, I'm checking out, how do I reprogram it? Yeah. Absolutely not. You have lost energy control over that room, just that simple.
Wow.
So the pin protected, only the owner, the chief engineer, whoever is authorized to make changes to that thermostat can make changes to that thermostat.
Good to know.
Yep.
So are there any rebate opportunities available for hotels that upgrade to energy related equipment?
That has been a super hot topic, and it depends on your energy company. And what we see out there, I shake my head at the opportunities. I look at like Georgia Power. Their rebate almost covers the entire cost of the thermostat itself. I see, Austin, Texas Electric has like $50. Detroit DTE has massive rebates. Philadelphia, I've heard some ComEd. Depending on the state, you'll see Xcel Energy. So really, you can go online and look at everything, but boy, when you're paying that bill and you're feeling the pain, call your energy company and say, hey, what rebate opportunities do you have? And what's interesting too, it is not just thermostats, because we're all in the hotel business, and if it's like a wall, that annoying like European style where you put the key card in the little thingy for that. Yes. Yeah, I don't like those. But anyways, some companies have provisions for that level of occupancy control, and our thermostats will slide in under that. So they might not have an HVAC rebate, but they'll have one for the general room controls. But the only way you find that out, or the most reliable way to find that out, is just call your energy company. And just to put a little warning in place, some of them want you to pre-qualify, and other ones you can just send them the receipt after the fact. Make sure to not assume anything. Call them ahead of time and say, hey, what's the landscape here? What do I need to do? And then if you need any documentation from us, serial numbers, we can figure all that stuff out. But just call them ahead of time so you know what you're getting into, and don't make any mistakes and don't have any disappointments. And in life in general. But just make sure to give them a call and see, because there's a lot of stuff floating out there, and not just for thermostats either. I mean, there's lighting rebates, there's PTAC rebates. I mean, it's the Wild West, and you definitely don't want to leave any money on the table with this.
Absolutely not. Great advice. We're going to pivot a little bit, because not only do you do thermostats, let's talk a little bit about hotel phones. So VTech is also offering a promotion around hotel phones. Can you explain how properties may be able to receive free phones through that offer?
Okay, well, we do have a deal where you buy 36 or more of the W960 thermostats with occupancy control, and then you get the same number of VTech speakerphones.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the reason we picked that particular model, the 2315-SPK, reason we picked that model is that it hits spec for all of Marriott, it hits spec for all of IHG, it hits spec for all of Hilton, and exceeds spec in so many other places. Probably 90% of the rooms in the United States will hit spec with that phone. But it goes even further, because per brand standards, these phones have to be customized to the property. They have to have their logo, dialing instructions, etc. And again, that 36 threshold gets you the occupancy detecting thermostat and a custom speakerphone. So it's free custom faceplates, free programming of the guest service keys for, wake up calls, front desk, and free ground shipping. So there is a special part number from that. You can use that in conjunction with those energy rebates, because it's all on one receipt. And just no time like the present. I mean, guest room telephones are a necessary evil, and we do justify the existence constantly with them. I mean, it's a liability issue. We live in a very litigious society, but it's a service issue too. Calling the front desk. What's your checkout time? Do you have an airport shuttle? There's,
Right.
Sasquatch in the parking lot. There's any number of reasons that you're going to need that phone for service. And to take it next level in training, just to keep it light, I just say, remember, dang, drunk, angry, naked guest. You want him calling on your phone. You don't want him down in the lobby making a scene. So
right.
just say dang.
Dang, I love that.
And that's a great way, that just to remind people. And I tell people too, I mean, yeah, okay, you spend money on phones, but what happens if you have, they say, oh, everybody uses their cell phone. Well, if you have a broken pipe in the hallway and it's flooding the floor and it's costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a minute that thing just keeps pumping away, are they going to fumble on their cell phone to call the front desk and say, can you get an engineer or somebody up here? Or are they going to pick up that phone and boom, one incident can save you enough money that cost justifies phones for the entire property. So
For sure. And don't forget, there's always room service too, which is always a quick push of a button away.
Oh yeah, don't let that money slide out.
No, not at all.
No DoorDash.
Thank you so much for talking, Bryce, with us about this, and great solutions out there and great innovation from your company. So I'm Christina Troutwine. I'm Vice President of Content and Partnerships at Hotel Business. And again, I was here with Bryce Bowman, and he is with VTech. Thank you.
Thank you.